Hello, I'm Debbie Probst, resident expert in home furnishings and president of One Kings Lane, a subsidiary of Bed Bath & Beyond.
And I'm Barbara Weston, Global Trend Director for Bed Bath & Beyond.
As you probably know, Bed Bath & Beyond categorizes its furniture into 11 distinct styles. Sometimes, though, it can be tricky deciding which category a piece might fall into. We're here to give a brief summary of the styles. We'll look at the main features that differentiate each one and show examples of furniture that fall into each category. Let's start with traditional. This is what most of us would consider classic, time-honored furnishings. Typically, traditional furniture has a rich, timeless palette: reds, blues, greens, creams, and browns. Furniture frames are usually dark wood, sometimes with carved details such as spindles, barley twists, or medallions. Linen, silk, velvet, and leather are common upholstery fabrics, and they're often embellished with tufting, nail head trim, or contrast welts or piping. With its rich dark leather, button tufted seat back, and rolled arms, this Chesterfield sofa is a perfect example of traditional. So is this ottoman. It features floral fabric and a skirted base, two additional features often seen in traditional furniture. Wingback chairs typically skew traditional, especially when trimmed with nail heads or tufted. The turned legs, reedy trim, corner medallions, and beveled tabletop of this cherrywood table all place it firmly in the traditional category. European heritage could be seen as a subset of traditional. It's definitely classic, but with an old world Western influence. It's a piece of furniture that would look at home in a Parisian apartment or in an Italian manor. Chances are it's European heritage style if it would look good in both. Louis-style seating, cabriole legs and other curves, gilded accents, whitewashed or grey wood frames, and linen, ticking, and grain sack fabrics all represent this style. For this chest, for instance, it has a gently weathered grey finish typical of Swedish or French country furniture. Note the curvy drawer fronts and apron, also common in European heritage style. Like the traditional chair we saw earlier, this is a wingback. What differentiates it as a European heritage, though, are the curves. The cabriole legs, the curled ends of the arms, the camelback seat, and the curvy apron. The ornate carved medallion on the apron and the gently weathered finish of the wood contribute to the old world elegance. Louis-style chairs are the poster child for European style, whether their seatbacks are oval or rectangular. The exposed pale wood frames with elaborate carvings are typical of both Louis chairs and European heritage style. Mirrored surfaces, like those of this chest, don't necessarily mean a piece is European heritage style. But when the mirrored panels are given an aged patina and coupled with the carved wood details, you can safely assume it is. Mirrored furniture can also fall under the glam category. Glam furniture, though, typically doesn't include carved wood detail or even much wood at all. Sometimes called Hollywood Regency, this style is all about bold luxury. Glimmer and shimmer are key. Gold, chrome, brass, lucite, lacquer. Colors are jewel tones, fabrics are satin, silk, and velvet. Animal prints, marble, quartz, and yes, mirrors are all elements of this style. Look at the settee. Lush purple velvet fabric, a dramatic silhouette. You could easily picture a Hollywood star of the 1930s stretched out across it while wearing a silk dressing gown. That's pure glam. This bed pairs two glam materials, velvet upholstery in gold no less, and a clear acrylic frame. Note that the silhouette is actually rather simple. With glam furniture, the materials and colors, more than the shape of the frame, typically provide the sense of luxury. This credenza does feature wood, but it's finished to resemble zebra stripes. The slender gold-finished legs add to its glam credentials. Why is this mirrored chest glam while the one we saw earlier was European style? For one thing, the shape is a simple rectangle, with no exposed wood, no elaborate carvings, or much in the way of ornamentation at all, except for the subtle beady trim. For another, the mirrored surface hasn't been given an aged finish. Now to talk about the next style is Barbara Weston, who leads trend and design here at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Thanks, Debbie. The next two styles are almost the polar opposites of glam. Farmhouse and rustic sound as if they could be one and the same. They definitely have similarities. Simple silhouettes, the use of raw wood, and a general lack of frills. The easiest way to distinguish them is to think of farmhouse as ideal for a sunny, well, farmhouse, and rustic as perfect for a cozy mountain cottage. The woods used in farmhouse furniture tend to be pale, either naturally or because they've been whitewashed or painted with pale colors. Other favorite materials are linen, rattan, wicker, cotton, Ticking stripes, ginghams, and florals are also popular in light, faded, washed colors. The trestle table is a staple for both farmhouse and rustic furniture. While the carved legs do provide a bit of adornment, the shapes are fairly simple. Without the fluting, medallions, or other detailing you'd see on European heritage furniture, the relatively pale wood makes this a farmhouse table. If it had been given a dark brown finish, it would be tagged as rustic. Along the same lines, you might think that because this headboard has a curved top, it isn't farmhouse. But the grooved wood panels and the cream finish make it well suited to a country home. And again, other than the shapely silhouette, there's really no other embellishment. The weathered light gray finish and simple lines, the rattan seat of these chairs put them firmly in the farmhouse category. This side table also ticks off several farmhouse boxes. It has a simple shape, a weathered off-white finish, and wicker storage baskets. In addition to raw wood, rustic uses wood with dark finishes. Other common materials are leather, hide, nubby tweeds, and knits. The palette tends toward earthy colors such as browns, forest greens, and rusts. Native American or wildlife motif, log cabin furniture frames, and dark rugged plaids all fit into this style. What makes this chest rustic, for instance, is not just the simple shape and the lack of embellishment, but also the dark finish of the wood, and the fact that the wood's grain is highly visible. In fact, it's pretty much the only ornament. This stool is the epitome of rustic. Not only does it have hide upholstery, but the legs resemble branches lopped straight off a tree. By the same token, the Navajo-inspired print, nubby texture of this ottoman's upholstery clearly characterize it as rustic. We've seen traditional leather seating. This rustic chair is different largely because of its finish. Both the leather and the wood frame are distressed so that they look well worn and well loved. The lack of tufting, carving, and gleaming nail head trim adds to the rustic look. Like rustic, industrial modern features raw, dark, or weathered wood, as well as spare shapes. The main difference is the addition of steel, iron, and other industrial materials. This style was inspired by old factories and workhouses, and usually includes materials and details such as bolts, screws, and things like that that are usually hidden. On this bar cart, for instance, the bolt heads connecting the metal frame to the sides of the wood are clearly visible. All the industrial-style casters haven't been hidden or dressed up. The bolt heads are also visible on this stool. So is the mechanism that adjusts the seat height. This stool doesn't feature any wood at all. It's made exclusively of iron, a key industrial material. The matte distressed finish gives it an authentic look and ensures that it could not be possibly confused with any more glamorous style. From industrial modern, let's move to contemporary modern. This encompasses mid-century modern with its clean, minimalist lines. Furniture in this style is as likely to be made of acrylic, metal, molded plastic, and fiberglass as it is to feature wood. And often the wood will complement another material. For instance, a dresser might have a wood frame with a white laminate drawer front. Geometric shapes and patterns are popular, with very little in the way of trim, carvings, or other embellishments. When you see splayed tapered legs, like the ones on this chair, chances are this piece is contemporary modern. Another tip-off is the shape, soft curves and straight lines. Here's another contemporary modern chair. Straight lines, boxy shape, chrome frame, and neutral faux leather upholstery. The hairpin iron legs and the rounded triangular top peg this table as contemporary modern. If the minimalist shape and gently rounded corners of these nesting tables didn't tell you that they were contemporary modern, the fact that they're made exclusively of clear acrylic would. Transitional furniture combines the elegant formality of traditional furniture with the clean lines of contemporary modern. While the silhouettes are simple and streamlined, they're not always as spare as those of contemporary modern. The materials are generally the same as traditional furniture: wood, leather, linen, silk. The colors lean toward neutrals and prints, which tend to be oversized or stripes. This armchair is transitional to a T. The shape is simple, the linen upholstery is neutral shade, the straight lines are complemented by subtle curves, and it's apparent that comfort was as important as style when it came to this design. This coffee table also pairs straight lines with curves, not just the rounded top, but also the gently curved legs. If it were made of, say, acrylic, it would be contemporary modern. But the dark wood with the visible grain keeps it transitional. With these chairs, the well-padded seats and backs soften the otherwise spare shape. The beige on cream stripes of the upholstery accentuate the transitional look. Here, the large-scale floral print, along with the swoop arms and the unadorned legs, push this chair into the transitional category firmly. And now, I'll pass it back to Debbie to talk about a similar style, coastal.
Thanks, Barbara. Like traditional, coastal furniture has a simple, unfussy look. The style is about capturing what's easy, breezy, and the nautical vibe of seaside living. What's different is that the wood frames are likely to be weathered or whitewashed rather than dark. Other common materials are jute, rattan, raffia, and wicker. As for the palette, the colors of sand, sea, and sky are the primary shades. With this end table, it's not only the blue color that identifies it as coastal. The shutter detail of the cabinet door captures the feel of seaside cottage. Navy and white stripes are a flagship element of coastal style. When they appear in a simple, comfortable storage ottoman like this one, the piece definitely fits into the coastal category. This table shows off another element of coastal: rope styled as a material. The pale, weathered finish of this table resembles driftwood, which of course references coastal style. Again, the simple shape complements it perfectly. Eastern influence, as its name indicates, reflects the aesthetic of the Asian, particularly China and Japan, pagoda-inspired silhouettes. Ming-style legs, bamboo frames, and wood frames carved to look like bamboo are the most prominent elements of Asian-influenced furniture. Blue and white nature motifs and lacquered finishes, especially black and red, are also common. If any one piece were to sum up Asian influence, it would be the ceramic garden stool, especially with its blue leaves and lotus flowers against a white background in its geometric cutouts. This low-slung coffee table, inspired by antique opium beds, is also a great example. Even if the proportions were different, the curved legs would mark its Eastern influence style. This console's bamboo detailing and its handles, which have been crafted to resemble bamboo, peg it as Asian influence. Note also the glossy lacquer finish. Fretwork featuring straight lines and right angles, as seen in the panels of this side table, are also indicative of Eastern influence style. Global style brings together motifs and materials from other parts of Asia, such as India, Indonesia, and Turkey, as well as Africa, Eastern Europe, and Latin America. Colors and patterns tend to be bold and eye-catching. Icats, Suzannes, and batiks all fall within the global style. So do bone inlay, horn, mosaic, and stitch detailing. Also typical of global style are richly grayed woods such as teak and acacia, especially when given a natural polished finish. This side table, like the Asian influence one, has open fretwork sides. Two elements make this style global rather than Asian influence style. For one thing, rather than being all straight lines, the fretwork has curves similar to those seen in Moroccan or Moorish homes. For another, it's six-sided instead of four sides, which is also more commonly seen in Moroccan and Northern African furnishings. Similarly, the frame of this storage bench is almost identical to that of the blue and white striped coastal ottoman, but thanks to the icat-inspired upholstery, this one would be considered global. This coffee table is made of rattan, but there's nothing coastal about it. The dense block-like weave is reminiscent of Indonesia or Malaysian style, both of which fall under the global category. Not all mosaics are tiles. This tabletop is a mosaic of reclaimed woods, given a natural finish to show off their distinct grains, indicative of global style. So there you have it, Bed Bath & Beyond's 11 style categories for furnishings. One thing you probably noticed is that although many of the styles are quite different from one another, sometimes a piece of furniture has qualities that fit into several categories. In that case, you would want to focus on what is the most dominant feature of the furniture, such as the fabric or color. The same simple clean-lined ottoman could be contemporary modern when upholstered in a bright geometric fabric, rustic when covered in a hide, or global when upholstered in a batik fabric.
We hope you found this helpful and look forward to partnering with you to help you and our customers make their homes a place they love.